Hey everyone, the Water Magister here on session 2 for Metatron's Meditations. We're going to be going over the second portion, and this is a part of a 12-part series. So in this class, we're going to be going over, first of all, Sage and Selenite. I want to show you how old this is. This is like super old, from like 4 or 5 years ago when I wrote this, and I started like getting this information, and I didn't know anything about meditation, but I was writing all this stuff down. So okay, so let's talk about Sage and Selenite. When I want to clear a space, I in the past have used Sage to cleanse the space and to cleanse like corners of a room, but I realized that you can do that without the herb as well, but it's really helpful to use a physical tool such as sage or an herb to help with the ritual practice of it. Same with selenite. Selenite is a crystal. Selenite is and crystals are just, in my opinion, placeholders for intention. So imagine what a crystal is. When a person first found it, they decided, oh, this looks nice, let me go ahead and assign this value to it, or assign this meaning to it, and then they shared that with another person, and then that person shared that with another person. So then there's a co-creative story about what that crystal represents. And for selenite, I want to share a particular story that actually happened to me. It was my first crystal that I ever had, and this is back before I even believed in what crystals could be by tapping into the collective consciousness of it. I just got back from a psychic fair, and I was there with a friend, and I bought a selenite stick like about this big, and I also had a selenite necklace. I left it on the right of my nightstand, and I live alone, and I placed the selenite there, and I went to sleep. And I woke up to around 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning to a woman's voice saying out loud, "Wake up, David, get your gun, they're coming to kill you." And I woke up and I'm looking around, I'm like, what? Where's that even coming from? It's really weird. And this is back when I was a prepper and I had different guns. I had actually 3 different guns. I even taught myself how to load my own ammunition. I had my own bullet press. I had a Beretta 92FS, a Tika T3, and an AR. And I only had those things because I was in a state of fear and thinking that the government and society was going to collapse. And I was living from fear. I still kind of feel that's going to happen later down the line, but I'm not fearful of it anymore. So I don't feel like I have to protect myself from things in that space. So I ended up selling all that, and understanding that I don't have to protect myself, because if I create my reality, then by me thinking I have to protect myself, I'm creating the thing to protect myself from. So that selenite is, they say it's an angelic crystal. It allows you to tap into angels, or allows you to tap into clairaudience. And that was just a story that I wanted to share, that the very first crystal I had allowed me to tap into clairaudience, and I had never experienced that before. So it was kind of jarring. So okay, that's part of the list here. One of the actions that I have on here it's called the balloon exercise, but I'm not able to do it here because it's best to do it in person. So I'm going to share with you what the exercise would be. Essentially, what I had people do is everyone in the group would write down on a piece of paper of what intention do you want to create in your life, or what is a dream or aspiration that you want to attain, and you write it on a piece of paper. And I would have them put it in a balloon and fill the balloon up, and then tie the balloon off. And then I would have other balloons that were empty, and I would put them all in a room, and I would have them say, okay, so I want you now to, hang on one second. Actually, there was 2 ways. So I had them do that for 2 different sets. So I had a set of 15 balloons on one end and 15 balloons on another end. On one end, and they both had the same intentions in them. For one of the exercises, I had one person go and pop a balloon until they found their dream. And then I had everyone go to the second set of balloons and have everyone pop a balloon and then start shouting out loud, whose dream is this? Whose dream is this? And then after that exercise, I would ask them, what do you feel that this is showing you? What do you feel the lesson is of this? By, if you have one person just looking for their particular dream and they're only allowed to pop one, and you have multiple people popping balloons to get a dream, but they're able to communicate, what does that tell you? What does that show you? And I would get to the point of, by you assisting other people in accomplishing their dreams, you will eventually accomplish your dream. So that's a lesson that I taught for this as well. The exercise that we are going to be doing, though, is a single balloon dream using a string and meditation on it. And I'll go into further detail of that. But I wanted to share with you an Alan Watts quote that, if you haven't heard this before, it's a really powerful quote. And it's about dreams. And it's called The Dream of Life. I'm going to read it to you simply because it's so profound to me that I really resonated with this. So, if you awaken from this illusion and you understand that black implies white, self implies other, life implies death, or shall I say, death implies life, you can feel yourself not as a stranger in the world, not as something here on probation, not as something that has arrived here by fluke, but you can begin to feel your own existence as absolutely fundamental. Now, I'm not trying to sell you on this idea in the sense of converting you to it. I want you to play with it. I want you to think of its possibilities. I'm not trying to prove anything. I'm just putting it forward as a possibility of life to think about. So then, let's suppose that you were every night to dream any dream that you ever wanted to dream. And that you could, for example, have the power within one night of dreaming to experience 75 years of time, or any length of time that you wanted to have. And you would, naturally, as you began this adventure of dreams, you would fulfill all of your wishes. You would have every kind of pleasure you could ever imagine. And after several nights of 75 years of total pleasure, you would say, well, that was pretty great. But now let's have a surprise. Let's have a dream which isn't under control, where something is going to happen to me that I don't know what it's going to be. And you would dig that, and would come out of that, and you would say, wow, that was a close shave, wasn't it? Then you would get more and more adventurous, and you would make further and further out gambles of what you would dream. And finally, you would dream where you are right now. You would dream the dream of living the life that you're actually living today. That would be within the infinite multiplicity of choices you would have, of playing that you weren't God. Because the whole nature of Godhead, according to this idea, is to play that he is not. So in this idea then, everybody is fundamentally the ultimate reality. Not a God in a kingly sense, but God in the sense of being the self, the deep down basic whatever there is. And you are all that, only you're pretending that you're not. So that quote, when I read it several years ago, has always stood with me, because I really feel that we experience in this space is a dream, and we're becoming more and more lucid to it. We're becoming more and more aware of how to become, or how to be present with everything that we're experiencing, to be emotional masters of our reality. Now then, I want to take us through grounding breath. So if you follow my videos, you know what to prepare for. So if not, then it's okay. So we're going to go ahead and begin. Take a deep inhale in through the nose to ground ourselves in this present moment. Exhale out the mouth. Letting go of the day. Another deep inhale in through the nose. Exhale out the mouth. Last deep inhale through the nose and hold. We're holding for 10 seconds. Hold that breath. Noticing where your thoughts are going. Keeping your attention on the beating of the heart against the chest. Slowly exhale out the mouth. Breathing normally. Still keeping the eyes closed as we begin to go into this adventure. I want you to begin recreating the room before you closed your eyes. The clothes that you're wearing. The textures of the walls, the floor, the way that your body's positioned in. Recreating everything to the best of your ability before you have the eyes closed. And little by little, as you begin to recreate the room in your mind, you begin to notice that the textures of the walls begin to fade away. You begin to turn white on all 6 sides of the space that you're in, until it's just you inside of a white room, sitting in the same position that you're sitting down in. This room is a representation of healing, of love, of safety. While you're in this room, visualize yourself seeing yourself standing up in the room itself. And as you do, you take a couple steps away from the body, and you notice that your physical body is still laying down in the same position that it's in. And as you're looking around this white room, you begin to see that the white room begins to fade. And suddenly there begins to be nature, forest, nature sounds, birds. And you're still sitting down, your physical body is in the center of this forest, and you're just witnessing it all. And as you're in this forest, you begin to see these cords coming from the physical body. And these strings. Each of these strings representing an attachment or something that no longer serves you anymore. And these strings could stretch for miles. Some of them are connected to certain rocks below you. Noticing all the strings that are connected to the body and the different attachments that you may have in life. Maybe a past lover that you haven't forgotten about. Maybe a trauma. Any type of experience that you're still lingering on. All of these cords represent each one of those. And suddenly you begin to see these balloons begin to come from the shoulders, connected to other strings, beginning to float above you. And you're witnessing it all happening from the third person. You're seeing this happen at the physical body. Noticing it all play out. Begin to see yourself sit down in the same position that your body is in, so that you can begin to feel the strings connected to you. Once integrated, you begin to notice and feel that these balloons want to lift you up off the ground, but you're tied down, you're weighed down. These certain attachments that are still lingering. I want you now in this moment to make a choice to release certain attachments that you feel no longer are in your best interest, to grow so that you can begin floating and allow these balloons to take you to a certain portion of reality so that you can experience something special. So in your mind, begin to see these certain strings begin to disappear, the ones that you wish to let go of. Little by little, they begin to disintegrate, no longer holding you down, weighing you down. And keep going until there's one string. We're going to release that one together. If your mind wanders, bring it back. There's no place else you have to be in this moment. This exercise is for you to release, to let go, to surrender to possibilities. Now, having to be on the last string, release it together. It's okay. Seeing yourself in your mind beginning to float up into the forest, up into the trees, looking in all directions, seeing the birds fly, the sky so blue above you. And you begin to see yourself floating even higher above the tree line, witnessing everything as if you were flying in the sky, knowing that you're safe. And as you're floating in the sky, you begin to see this bubble surround your body, a field of light. It surrounds the entire body and encompasses the balloons to allow you to float even higher. Into the clouds, seeing yourself floating even higher through the ionic sphere, through the different spaces of the earth to get into space itself. And now you're floating through space. Not a care in the world. And since you're in this orb, this ball of light, I want you to enjoy yourself. See yourself smile in that space. See yourself maybe even dance or move around as these balloons take you to a different journey, a different experience. And as you're witnessing things around you, slowly it's bringing you back to a certain place that you've been before. So enjoy this travel. The speed at which you're traveling begins to speed up. And you begin to see the different stars moving quickly by you. Maybe you're dancing, maybe you're laughing in this circle, this sphere. And this is your freedom. Being free and loving. No cares, no worries. Little by little, you begin to see this big ball of white light. It's not the sun. You begin to fly towards it, and it feels like home. This is the galactic center. A space I wanted to bring you to so that you can recharge. Seeing yourself beginning to float towards the center until your sphere of light begins to merge with it, and you're in the very middle of it now. Witnessing yourself being in this moment, in the center of the universe. Allowing anything to flow through that it wants to cleanse you of, that it wants to release from you. Recharging you in every way possible. Recharging your body, your mind, your spirit, your chakra points. And as you're in this space, this is a great opportunity for you to begin to either say out loud or in your mind what it is you want to create in your life. I want to create so and so. Declare it, state it out loud so that the galactic center can hear you, so that you can manifest it in your life. It's time. It is time to stop holding ourselves so small. It is time to start creating these beautiful ideas, these things, finish these books, finish these projects that you wanted to work on. Allow the center to hear what you want to create and give you the necessary energy to push you past the blockages that you may be having. As you're in the center and after you've spoken that out loud, take a deep inhale to breathe all of that space in through the nose. Exhaling out the mouth. Another deep inhale into the nose. Exhaling out the mouth. Still visualizing yourself in the center of that bright ball of light. Recharging every cell in your body, every energetic point. This is your time. As you're in this center, we're going to do a short breath work to draw in that energy in through us. So it's a DMT breath. If you haven't done it before, I'm still going to guide us through. Inhale through the nose, out the nose, through the nose, out the mouth, through the mouth, out the mouth. 2 more times through the nose, 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 mouth, mouth, mouth. Last one, nose, 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 mouth, mouth, mouth. Breathe normally at your own pace. Now, having absorbed all that energy through the vessel, as you're in that ball of light, witness yourself stand up, not physically, but in that space, see yourself standing up, and a door begins to emerge. Witnessing yourself opening this door. On the other side of this door is the room that you're in, where your physical body is laying in or sitting up in. Seeing how peaceful it is in there. Begin to step through the door. Witnessing yourself once more sitting down in the same position that the physical body is in. Now remembering that you're in this room, the textures, the clothes that you're wearing. Having drawn all of that galactic energy into the body, storing it. Pushing you forward in your narrative, past your blockages that you create in your mind of no one's going to like it, no one's going to do this, it's not worth it. Pushing past all of that. It is time now to finish those projects that you've been putting off. You're so worth it. Your work is going to be so appreciated, so valued, so seen. It's time to create those dreams into reality. Taking another deep inhale through the nose. Exhale out the mouth. Through the nose. Out the mouth. Last deep inhale, holding for 10 seconds. Deep inhale in. Hold that breath. Noticing where your thoughts go. Slowly exhale out the mouth. Breathe normally, let the shoulders drop. Let your mouth be open for a moment, relaxing the jaw. Just focusing how you're breathing. Maybe you begin to hear your heartbeat against the chest. Feeling the pulsation that it gives through the ears. And slowly begin to open the eyes, reacclimating yourself into this room, remembering where you are. You can pause the video to give yourself a moment. So I wanted to take you through that quick exercise to bring you to that galactic center so that you can feel the energy there. This is home for us. This is a recharge point. You can always go back there using that practice or just seeing yourself be there. Now that you know where it is, just closing the eyes, dismantling all the textures, dismantling all the things that you have there, and just creating a white room that you're in, and then beginning to see yourself in that space. My kitty cat says hi. So that's week 2 for the Metatron series. There was a couple more exercises in it, but it's required for a partner to be in that space. So another exercise would have been where there's 2 people doing a similar meditation, but one holds the vision for the other of a reality that they want to create, like a dream that they want to manifest. Because by another person holding that dream alive for you, say for example, say you want to go to Peru and you're the only one thinking about it, you're the only one giving energy towards it, but when you have another person visualizing you being there, they're holding that reality for you, so that if you ever doubt yourself, that reality is still held for you to step into when you're ready. I like to think of it as like quantum jumping or quantum realities. So a person is creating that reality for you, so then you can later step into it. So that's part of the practice for the Metatrons week 2. I'm now going to talk about something that's really exciting. I just started a new program that I'm calling Wizard Apprenticeships. I have 4 levels, or 4 different ways of how I'm organizing it. So for the basic, intermediate, and advanced, there's a segment called Gamification, and I found an app that I am using to gamify the experience. If you don't know what gamification is, or gamifying an experience, it's taking a game you could call, and putting quests, putting reward systems, so that when you complete the quest, you get gold, you get not real gold, but in-game gold, you get experience, you get items, and the tasks that you complete are tasks that involve self-improvement. So I've created a bunch of different self-improvement tasks that are correlating to certain weeks and the different elements. I've also have a certain segment just called gamification of the program. So if you don't want, or if you're not able to afford the basic, intermediate, or advanced series, there's just the gamification of it, where it's $3.99 for the gamification. It comes with a year membership of the game, and each week, essentially every day, you complete certain tasks like breath work, meditations, self-awareness checks, tools of awareness, and then it starts building up progressively throughout the year, so that you can hone in on your own self and your self-discovery and your self-practice. It also includes a 34-page write-up of the different subjects that I'm going over in that, which includes tools of awareness, emotional intelligence, habits, rituals, sigil magic, astral projection, and lucid dreaming. So that's just for the small portion of it, which is the $3.99. And the other ones, you can go to the website. I'll have a link down below that you can check out for all of that information. But if you're interested in kind of kicking up things a notch and really wanting to challenge yourself and holding yourself accountable, the gamification of it will really help with this. I'm using it right now, and I will show a screenshot of what it looks like in this video so that you can see the overall look of it. And if you ever played an RPG, it's similar to an RPG. So you level up, you can choose a class, and then every time you finish a task, you get gold or experience points. So if this is something that really interests you, please reach out. I am looking for more apprenticeships that want to really take things to the next level. So if that sounds something that's interested for you, send me a message. Other than that, I think next week is breathwork. We'll be doing specific breathwork, a new breathwork exercise. So get ready for that. It's gonna be awesome. I hope you're all having an amazing week. I know I have been. Creating this program has been so inspiring for me because I'm actually doing all the practices instead of splitting them up in weeks. I'm doing them all in one day, each day. And today, as I finished the last one, I actually broke down and I started crying from how happy I was, how happy I've been, because this year has been very difficult. I experienced a breakup towards the beginning of the year, and I held a lot of attachment to it. And I realized that I wasn't really valuing myself. I wasn't appreciating who I was, and I applied that filter towards everyone, thinking that I wasn't valued or I wasn't appreciated by people. And by me giving love back to myself and doing mirror work and telling myself and looking at the mirror and reprogramming, restructuring myself, I've been changing and solidifying those beliefs again. But yeah, this year has been a really tough one, but I am really glad that I experienced it because I have like a new set of appreciation for who I am and what I'm here to do to assist people in their progression. So I just wanted to share a little bit about me there. But I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope you have an awesome rest of your week. Bye.